So I'm going to end up putting these turnips out in the garden, turnip greens, Brussels sprouts growing here. This is a bean plant, but right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sweet potato and I'm going to put this sweet potato out there because it's growing. And on this end, as you can see, it's starting to put a few little roots out, and it's putting the tops up here. So I'm going to take this and stick it in the dirt and just let it grow. And I'm going to go out to the garden and do that. So I had bought these sweet potatoes at the grocery store. They were still in the plastic bag in the fridge, and or not in the fridge, but in the pantry. And anyway, I just happened to look at them and noticed that this one was growing, putting little shoots up, and I figured that's perfect for putting in the garden because it'll take off and grow. So I don't know if you saw my fence here, but I had to do this to keep the chickens out because the chickens will keep coming in here. We'll take dirt baths, and it's really helped. It's definitely kept them from doing their dirt baths. And in this area here, this is the one they were tearing up a lot. This is the one I had my turnip greens, my turnips and turnip greens in. But you can see the small turnip plants growing, popping up from seeds now that the chickens aren't in here doing anything. And of course, periodically there's grass growing in here, and I'll get the little bits of grass out. And because I don't want the grass to take off, because a lot of times grass grows just so much better than anything else. So I'll just come through and just kind of grab them by the bottom and pull them up by the roots, and I get them out of there the best I can, and just leave in there what I want to be there. You know, like the turnip greens, and these are all turnip greens in here, so I'm just going to leave this as turnip greens. There's one I picked out and threw over. So, all right, let me go find a spot for my sweet potato. Down in there, I got some potatoes. I got different odds and ends plants here. The basil's going to seed. You ever seen basil go to seed? Isn't that pretty? Yeah, basil's making a ton of seeds in here. Flowering. Look at those pretty flowers. Pretty little basil flowers. We also got a bunch of peppers growing in here. Look at these things. Bunch of peppers. Some kind of melon. That's all basil right there. You can see them. We got. I think those are all jalapenos. These over here have been kind of eaten up by bugs, but you can see how I got potatoes in there. Down here, I'm going to show you. Right over here, I had planted already some sweet potatoes. So I'm thinking I'm going to plant this one like right here. But this is sweet potato tops. There's a sweet potato under there, and just stuck it in the dirt, and these tops grow here as well, and here. And you can see how, by looking at that one, see how it grows up and kind of vines out. Well, they'll lay on the ground when they vine out far enough, and they'll end up putting roots down where the vine touches the ground. A lot of times they'll go ahead and put roots down, and then they just continue to grow and expand. That's sweet potato top, sweet potato top, sweet potato top, sweet potato top right there too. But anyway, look at this. I finally got my eggplant producing something. I got some flowers on my eggplants out there too. But all I do with the sweet potato, and remember this is one that I found or purchased at the supermarket, the grocery store, and it was in the pantry inside the house and started growing just like those. So I'm just going to dig a hole with my hand and put it down in there as far as I can, because I want it to be down in there where the moisture is. I'm trying to find a good spot for it. But anyway, just going to plant it down in there just like that, and you can see how long that thing is. And I'm planting it so these are pointing up in the direction they're already growing. Oh, look at that. One of the pallets or whatever you call it. Every time I find one of these, reminds me of all the different failures of plants that I've put in here. So, but anyway, I collect these and put them back in the tray so I can plant more plants. Then I just cover it up. I cover it up. Let it sit down there. Give it a little pat down. Kind of firm it down a little bit. And just gonna let it sit there. And whenever we get rain, it gets watered. There is moisture down in there. I noticed when I put my hand down in there. But that's the same thing I did for those sweet potatoes there. And I just keep doing little bits here and there, and every little bit counts. This was a turnip. I'll pull that thing up. Look at that. Yeah, not a turnip anymore. Leave me a hole there, but that's okay. I'll plant something else there. Every time I find something like this, I take it over here to this other 4x8 thing that I've been filling with organic matter and just pitch it in there. And before long, I'll have a layer of sand and dirt and other things on top of this and get that stuff decomposing. But yeah, that's kind of what I do every time I find a sweet potato that's growing in the house. I just go ahead and bring it out here and stick it in the dirt. And I think this vining plant here is a cucumber plant. I think. Yeah, there's a little tiny cucumber down in there. See it? Right down there. Yeah, so I'm eventually gonna get. Oh yeah, I found another one. Look at that right there. Little tiny cucumber plant. And these things are kind of a waxy. They feel good. They're nice and thick. The leaves are cool. Feel so good. But yeah, I got other odds and ends. So in here I've got the sweet potatoes. I've got some eggplant growing in here. Some Swiss chard. I think this is a different type of part. It's a Swiss chard, but it's a different, kind of a different flavor, different type Swiss chard. But back there's the little red Swiss chard. And I got some lettuce growing, going to seed. This is lettuce going to seed there. And this is as well. So all these little seeds will fall and grow wherever they happen to fall down at. And look at this. Look at that thing right there. I'm not sure. It's some kind of squash melon thing. I'm not quite sure what this one is, but I'll figure that out later. And I know there's more around. And over there's got a big one growing around. Over there's got a melon on it as well. These potato tops have kind of died back here. The potatoes that were in this area were different than potatoes in that area, so that's why those tops are kind of still up compared to these. But generally, when the tops die down like that, it's time to reach in the dirt and pull up potatoes. There's another one of those things from a failed plant. I'll collect these and stick them back in the tray and plant new plants, new seeds. Kind of like that one is. See that there? That was this plant here. But I'm gonna dig down. This one still has tops on it, so I'm gonna leave these alone. But right over here, like right here, where this one's died back, I'm just gonna look in there. Oh, there's paper and stuff from where I was putting organic matter down in there. I know there's potatoes in there. Come on, potatoes. Look at that. Little tiny potato. Oop, there we go. Come out. Alright. Whenever I find little things like that, I just stick them back in the dirt. Because they will, little tiny potatoes will definitely grow. Ew. There's another one of those things. So, something down in there's rotting. Might be that potato I had down in there. Bill? Where are all the potatoes at? Well, I'm not finding any. Oh well, sometimes that happens. That's okay. I'll just cover that back up and just let it do its thing. I'm gonna take this. Yeah, there's a rotten potato down in there. Yep, stinky. But anyway, I'm just gonna take this and just stick it down in the dirt and bury it, and it'll grow. Alright, so I found 2 more of these things. So anyway, gardens are mysterious. Sometimes they make potatoes, sometimes they don't. I mean, look at that. That's a little potato that was made, and that one too. So I know there's definitely potatoes under the dirt down there. But we'll discover new things as we go. We'll discover plants that want to thrive out here and plants that don't, and plants that seems like they don't want to do anything for a long time. Just all of a sudden, boom, they just take off for some reason. I hadn't figured that one out yet. Kind of like these eggplants. For the longest time, they wouldn't do anything. And I'm kind of wondering if maybe, so I got 3 of these things to put back in there. I'm kind of wondering if maybe the chickens were picking off the little flowers before they could make eggplants. So, but anyway, now that the chickens are not in here, then things are doing a little bit better. All right, talk to you later.